Hello, hello. Whoops. I gotta do something. Let me get my. I gotta put my good mic in here. Sorry. God, what a day. Okie doke. Good. Can you guys hear me okay? You can type something over there. Let me know whether we're plugged in or not. Here's a commercial that we'll have while we're waiting. I got off to sort of discombobulated this morning on my getting started and everything. So anyhow, I see we have 3 shy people. Welcome. Oh boy. So how's everybody doing? No responses. Well, I'll just wait and drink coffee. Is the picture okay and the sound and everything? Hello? Somebody? Let me see this. Hey, hi, Clyde. I'm here all by myself, it seems. I forgot to put up a earlier announcement. So what's new, Clyde? How's everything there in Oklahoma? Anything new going on? Anybody? You're talking to myself. Clyde, have you ever had to talk to yourself like this for a while? Okay. This is hi, Junior. How you doing? Quiet. 23 fatalities, 500 confirmed cases. People are starting to take this seriously. Yeah. All the freaking time. Yeah. Yeah, I know. One of the things I saw this morning, California got a pretty good, comparatively early start, and the rate is not as bad as it had been. Here in Connecticut, when they talk about Connecticut, they're talking about the tri-state area, which is New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. Well, they usually forget to include Connecticut, and that's the way it is. But most of them are in what's called Fairfield County, which is right up against New York. And I guess the last I heard, we had the 4th number of cases. So, for a state this size, for the whole U.S., that's, I don't know, maybe we have more, I thought. Anyway, Junior, that's my fault. I didn't send out the notification in time. I got a late start this morning, so I apologize. Hey, Stefan, how you doing? Blaine, how are things in Japan? I hope they're going great. I used to live right outside of Tokyo when I was a kid. It was a cool place, long time ago. That's when it was so long ago. Godzilla was still hanging around there. He was real. Hi, NS something. How's it going? Junior Johnson not complaining. Wouldn't do any good anyway. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sound rude. It does help. I just got, I don't know. I had a hard time getting going this morning, I guess. Anyway, well, let's start. So far, so good. But we now have an active case in our city. Ay. Well, you know, from what I read, the Japanese did pretty well in terms of preparing ahead of time and everything. I think from looking at some of the curves, the U.S. is just dumb. Not us, but our leaders. Anyway, let's hope everybody gets through this one way or the other. I don't think we've lost any of our subscribers. Subscribing to Watch Art's Side prevents COVID-19. All right. Let's see. Where were we? Let me we'll talk about the epic watchmaking. See if I can prevent myself from dropping it. Right here. Let me see. Well, I'll do better with this. Okay. What I did yesterday, I put on the hour hand, and the hour hand should be pointing right up at 12 o'clock. Okay. This one is, if I can just get the light right on this. There we go. Except it's upside down. There. 12. Okay. Now you can see the hour hand at 12, and the minute hand actually is at 3. I thought it's at 3 o'clock. That's pretty standard way for setting things up. Now some guys like to put them both up at 12, and they go through a few more kind of steps. For getting started though, you having the 3 o'clock thing I think works pretty well. So this is how we need to have them. Now, the way this was set up, let me see. Here we go. There are a lot of different ways to do this. You can take your tweezers, and when you handle watch hands in your tweezers, you do it on the flat. Okay, you make sure you get on the flat side. Don't try to have them like that and then put them down. You put them and you go down this way, and then you put it on top of the shaft or the pinion for the hour hand, and then you push it down using the, where's my pusher? There it is. Okay. You push it into place using a hand setter. This is the hour hand. I use the black end because it's the whitest hole in it. And then for the minute hand, I use the red one because it's got a smaller hole for the pinion coming up that you put the minute hand on. Now, this gizmo right here, right up here, there's a bunch of different size caps like this. Now, the reason I don't have any here is that I store my in my workbench. This is how I store it. I store it like this. So what you do, you want to have some kind of padding underneath, and once you get it, once you have the you have the hand in place, and by that I mean you have it over the pinion, and then you just push down like this in a nice steady way, and it'll go in. Now, I still think that well, you can do it with this too, with your tweezers. You can just sort of like right over the pinion. You can push them down. This is where I keep my extra little heads that go on my little red hand setter there. Let me see if I can put that in a place where you can see it. There. Okay. It's there for the time being. So now, essentially, this was the steps. I take a pegwood stick, put some Rodico putty on the end of it, and then you just touch it, and it'll pick it up, and then you put it right over the pinion, and then you push it down with the tweezers right in place, and then you tap it into place with your hand setter, and then you can use the gizmo one, so you can really set it down. Now, in all of this, you can simply use your tweezers for the whole process. You can take your tweezers, put the hand on top, and then the tweezers over the pinion and just push it down this way. So you don't need a lot of elaborate tools, but these are some tools that make life a lot easier. I swear that this Rodico putty has got to be like one of the most important tools I have. And for picking things up that are really small, instead of the tweezers look like you got two telephone poles you're trying to pick stuff up with. And this Rodico putty on a stick, or some people just take it like this. They'll take the Rodico putty and they'll shape it into like a little pickup tool, something like this, and tap it and work it that way. I like this. It's I keep my distance. You can go into your box and things like that, and you don't come out looking like a porcupine with hands and gears and everything else on this. But for a single hand, you pick that up. Now, so here, and then you put it in place right here, and once that's done, you put it into your the mechanical hand setter. And by the way, too, in the back here, this is one of the important things is my blower, and I keep it in a cup so it doesn't roll around. And there's my little screwdriver carousel. But the thing is that I found that really helped, you only want to have exactly and only the tools that you're actually using when you're working on anything. Everything gets in the way, and you want to be able to pick it up and use it. If you have a lot of different screwdrivers you're using, then maybe you want the carousel and you can pick it up. They're color coded to make it a lot easier for you. I keep mine under glass. There's sort of one of those bell jars you put over it, and that helps keep it in place. So this is, by the way, too, I put the stem in. Oh boy, there it is. I put the stem and crown in because sometimes what you want, and then I'll tighten it, and then I can wind it up. I can set it and make sure everything is working right before I put it into the case. Now, before I do that, I'm going to have to pull the stem out. And if you get a new one, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to trim the stem here. By the way, too, these caps are the crowns. They unscrew, and what you do is you can just hold on to it either with your fingers, or if you have a hand vise, that really works well. You stick the stem into the hand vise, hold it, and then you just unscrew it, and then put on the one you want. I like the what are they called? The onion dome shape for my crown, and so a lot of times I'll replace it with that. Hook it up. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Hey, Jawas, how you doing? Abdul. Hey, Mark, we're around 170 cases, but only 5 deaths. Unfortunately, all 4 senior living places have cases now. Yeah, Mark, those are the places they just really go through like mad. There's a place down the street from us that I think it's like a nursing home, and it looks like a regular house. Just you don't even know it's just not a house, and you can go by it. And I don't know if they have any cases or not there, but those places, that's in Washington State. They've had a lot of bad cases. Saw a good video just now by an engineer about how to safely sanitize and reuse surgical masks. Yeah, Why don't you put the URL up there, Clyde, if you can copy and paste it and just put it in there, and other people might want to take a look at it. Um, for the most part, the mask I have, I was at it was like a routine kind of visit at the doctor about a month ago, and they had a whole stack of those things, and it was sort of take one, so I did, and boy, I'm glad I've got one. You can't get them now. Um, Either that or make one. I guess they, after going back and forth about whether it's important, now they're saying everybody ought to wear a mask when they go out, and including encouraging people to make one because they didn't order enough. There was no planning at all. It's that's the sad thing. Okay, see, 100, oh wow, 1,991 cases in my city, probably like 50 in my borough, but everyone is social distancing, so there is hope. Yeah, that was what I was saying about California, and that's something they're having pretty good result because of social distancing. The fact that we live in a fairly rural area and there's a lot of distance between houses. the Where if everybody practiced social distancing, and they're doing it, you'll see people walking together down the street, and they're 6 feet or more apart. And the other thing is there's not the traffic that there normally is because people aren't going to work. And we have a walking path that they opened up not too long ago. It's a walking and bicycle path. And the problem with is that has become crowded now. So my wife and I go back to the road like we used to before they put in the path. Once this thing is over with, we'll go back to the path. So okay, Pegwood versus Fiction. You just push them until they both align at 12. Yeah. How do you achieve alignment so that both hands point to high noon at the same time? Well, when you, Mark, when you put them together, I think what you have before you really tap them down tight, you put them, you remember that one goes on top of the other. Doggone it, this thing is, wish I had, let me see if I have a better picture here I can work with. Hang on a sec. Here we go. Okay, now this one, when we first put it on, it's down at 5. And so what I'd want to do is take the pegwood stick and push it up toward 12. Actually, a better idea, what I should have done, I was just trying to take a picture and hold that down. It wasn't easy. What the best idea is to, when you put it on, have it pointing at 12 as much as possible. And then take your pegwood stick or your toothpick or whatever you're using, and then nudge it up to the 12 o'clock position. The 3 o'clock was what they taught us to set them up as. Other people like to put them up at 12, which is fine. And there's this one guy saw a really good demonstration. The guy was using a Seiko 5. I guess he took it apart, and he put on the hour hand. He uses the Rodico putty a lot, and then he put on the minute hand, and he got them all aligned. And then he put on a second hand on top because they were stacked one on top of the other. And so this was how he set it up. And he used this device right here. And what he did, he put a little piece of like leather or something underneath here. I like to use something with a little more cushion to it. This is really hard, I guess you'd call it hard sort of a hard rubberized thing. It's got a little more, it's got more cushion because it's thicker, but it's solid enough so that you're not always pushing it down into the cushion itself. And so when you bring this thing down like this, you're not driving this is solid metal right here. You're not driving the bottom of the movement into the steel or iron or whatever it's made of plate there. Oh, let's see. Hey, what else is going on here? Um, as they say in the military, no plan survives first contact. Yeah. Um, but you know what Eisenhower said? He says, even though the no plan survives the first contact, without serious planning, you're in trouble before the first shot. Uh, a cone shaped number 4 or larger coffee filter would work in a pinch as a mask. Oh, that's a good idea. Some people are just taking cloth and dusting off their old sewing machines and stitching them up. Some people are making them for everybody. Um, like I said, we're out in the country, and everybody just keeps their distance. If I go into a store from now on, I'll put on my mask and do something with that. Okay, let's see. My wife made me order masks from overseas source weeks ago. They should get here this week. Glad I did. Yeah. Um, right. Yeah. It's funny sometimes. Uh, this is new to everyone, or at least most of us anyway. I suppose some of them have. The poor people in Africa had the Ebola, which is, that was no fun. And but I don't think in the United States they haven't had anything like this since the Spanish flu back in 1918. So everyone's new to it, but we have so much better medical predictions and preparation, but they made no preparations, and that bothers me. I was looking at some at the curve that they had in South Korea, and the curve is like way down here compared to us, which is at the very top in terms of the proportion of the population who came down with this stuff. So it's just anyway. Well, we have time to chat though. Isn't that a good thing? My city has a citywide mask making initiative where everyone who can sew are doing it, and I guess you meant everyone who can sew are doing it and giving them materials. Hi, Fahrenheit. Will you name this watch? This watch? After it's all done, after it's built under special circumstances, I'll call it COVID's survivor. I don't know. This guy has it was put together, taken apart, and now put together again, and under my gentle hand, I got 5 sausages for fingers on each hand. I don't know. My other one that I've been sort of procrastinating on, I probably ought to go. All I've got to do is put on the second hand, and which is always just not fun at all. And I think it may even I got to trim the stem on it too. This guy right here. Now, see, this is one that is I've been caring for a while, and I had put the hands on, wound it up, and it works fine. And the only thing it's lacking is the second hand. And once that's done, I'll have my gentleman's field watch. There is such a thing. Okay. In Canada, we had a corona epicenter before the first SARS. So a lot of people, and so a lot of people, I think the authorities were very wary of this one. Oh yeah, that's another thing too. The Some people, there are a lot of different things going on. I think certain political people thought that if they had better testing initially, it would have made the number of cases go up rapidly and make them look bad. Oh, it just, good God, I tell you, it's one of those things. Um, okay, you cook at home now. Cooking has always been a passion of mine. I just took it up a notch. Well, that's neat. Same here. Always cook nice, nice. Hi, Nani Knots. How you doing? We're talking about cooking, something that I I always the kind of cooking I do is it uses a microwave a lot. But I tell you, most of the stuff I have are my big. I eat fruit, apples and bananas and berries and things like that. So, sort of like some old hippie or something, a nut and berry. Hey, pseudoscientist, how you doing, man? Gugaro of 2.6 for stars. Uh, okay. At two goes, we are 4 months into this and is not doing, and therefore they overreacted or globalists are pushing communism. Oh, pseudoscientists, that those lines don't work anymore. Like fake news doesn't work anymore. All of that stuff, the globalists and so forth. Uh, Coronavirus doesn't care whether you're a globalist or not. So, good morning. That's more like a pseudoscientist. Uh, hey, Flipside 666, how you doing, man? Anyway, the our watch project is coming along pretty much. The last thing we got to do is to put the second hand on, and I'm not going to do that live. Trust me. Uh, Doing it live, was, I'll lose it. They're very small. One of the things, here's another tip too. If you have a workbench, like one of these desktop workbenches, you I have mine. I cut notches in the back, and so I pull it out, and you want to have it right up to your chin and where you're working on it, and you want to push all of the stuff that you're working on toward the middle or the back as far as possible, because then if something like a hand or something like that goes flying, you got a chance of finding it. The other day, I think it was on this one when I was demonstrating things, one of my hands fell into my keyboard. Fortunately, instead of on the floor or anywhere else on my desk, it'd be hard to find. Uh, yeah, Stefan, that's right. Putting it on second hands has always been my nemesis on watt building. There's I this is why I really like using this stick with the with a Rodico putty on it, is that you can pick it up and then you can use the pointer, the tweezers even, and get it onto that little pinion. And once it's on there, and then push it down with your hand setting tool. Or actually, you could even use the back uh, of a pegwood stick. The thing that's nice about wood is that a lot of times, your the tweezers should be non-magnetic, and so if you're putting something on with it, you're you have to you don't want anything to magnetically pick it up. Okay. Uh, okay. Let's see. I spent 20 minutes looking for a case screw yesterday. Listen, if you did you find it, Mr. Flipside? That's I was going to say only 20 minutes. They have in this class that we had, they show you how to make a magnet broom, and you take this piece of wood and you glue all of these magnets to it, and then around your work area, you go and see if you can find anything that flew off. But yeah, those things will happen. What I had to do, I bought a whole box of these securing screws and little tabs. What they are is that to keep your movement from falling out, they have these little clamp-like things, and then you put the screw through it, and then you put in. That's another thing that is no fun to do. If you get it on the first time, it's done. If you don't, you're going around, and your chances are you're going to be. If you don't have a hand setting tool, remove the middle out of the ballpoint pen or mechanical pencil and use that and press the hands up and make sure that it's empty, that you don't have any ink in there. With my luck, I paint the place with, that's another thing. Hand setting tools though really aren't that expensive, and it's really worth having. Okay, let's see. What are you guys talking about here? Do you know Bexai watches from Hungary? No, I do not. That's a new one on me. I was in Hungary last April, and I didn't. Maybe I was in the wrong part of town. Okay, let's see what's going on about Bixel looks neat. I always wondered about the all in the house claim though. They make stuff that is a bit too ornate for my taste, but also some stuff that really appeals to me. 90 knots agrees with that one. So that's something to find out about. Carpeted floors. Yeah, right. Yeah, I've got both. I've got wooden floors and then carpeted floors. Sort of, they can get lost in either one. I did find a screw with a torch and extendable magnet. That's that's a good idea too. That one of those long ones with a magnet on it. That's a great idea. It's a nice tool to have too. Let's see. Bexel is the real deal. No mass production there. A bit ornate though, but you can order them as you wish. Oh, okay. I'm gonna find out about those. By the way, it's Phil from your High Horology group here. Hey, Phil, how you doing? By the way, Phil, if you are involved in watchmaking, you can join us at the Pretentious Watchmakers. If you have too many skills, we may not allow you in. But if you enjoy playing around with making your own watches, you're more than welcome. The magnet broom. That's it. Yeah, that was that was what they have. I tell you, you can see how to make them if you go to if you go to Otto Fry's that Watt School thing. I think they have like a free you can get a free example of what their Watt School is like, and they have making this magnet broom they have. I bought the magnet, but I never put it together because God knows what I'd pick up. Let's see. They have a dingus on their site. Is so simple and beautiful. Okay. A dignitas. Oh, okay, a dignitas. I thought it was a dingus. That's sort of a term. Well, listen, guys, out of time, and sorry for getting so late in the announcement and so forth, but I'll try to do that tomorrow. Now, tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, this afternoon, maybe we'll put the second hand on. Okay. Take care, and I'll look it up. Yeah, send me a link sometime. I'm currently overhauling an English Fusee dial clock. I got some pivoting to do. Whew, man, restoration. You can't be really good to be a pretentious watchmaker. Take care. I'm a noob to watches, but I always want to switch dials or faces. Is there a thing to do? All the faces and dials have different sizes. Are there people who Frankenstein watches? I don't know if there's anybody here or not, but anyway, take care. We'll be back this afternoon, 4 o'clock Eastern, and then back again tomorrow morning.